All right, you are good to go.
Oh, okay. I would like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Angelia Bills, Chair, Justin Randall, Vice Chair, and Vincent Nutt, Member. The Department of Planning staff members are Debbie Nesbitt, Mel Wilson, Abby Freudel, Ashra Mikra Batalaka, Peter Grine, and Gretchen Arnold. Also on the call is John Bursford from the County Counselor's Office. First, I'd like to offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, May 3rd, 2023. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 1003, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Next, I would like to call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BCA meeting of April 19th, 2023.
So moved.
I second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. This meeting is conducted as a teleconference and is recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record and present technical advice to the board if needed. The petitioner will be unmuted, state their name, and make a brief presentation to the board, explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardship. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request. To do so, click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read them into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to bring in additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote. At that time, the discussion is ended. No further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be mailed to the petitioners.
All right, 25-23 Dana Busen is a request for an exception to allow the construction of a 36-foot by 24-foot detached garage, which will be more than half of the footprint of the home and will be a second accessory structure on the property at 5890 Bluff Road, as required by Section 4 of the R2 Residence District Regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Dana, I'm going to request that you unmute and then you'll be able to present to the board. There we go. Dana, can you hear us? Well, hang on. Okay. Let's see here. Dana, I am going to request that you unmute so you can present to the board. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Good, good. All right. Hi, my name's Dana Bussin. I live at 5890 Bluff Road. I'm here with my friend Greg Hayden with Luxembourg Realty. He's got a few comments to say as well. I'm requesting a 3-car garage project. My house was built in 1907. It was never originally designed to be a full-time residence. And it has a very small 1-car garage attached to it. And I currently have 4 vehicles and my son has 1. If you can see on the layout, at the very end of the road, so I don't have any on-street parking. So right now the cars all sit out in the driveway and they're exposed to weather conditions, hail, and plus it's a heavily wooded lot, so I've got a lot of tree branches that also can damage the vehicles. With the vehicles all parked in the lot, it's very difficult for any delivery vehicles or sometimes even people visiting the house to turn their vehicles around in the space that's available. So it sometimes and guests have to back up the driveway, and it's a very thin driveway with drop offs on either side, which it's kind of a hazardous issue to do that. In addition to the garage, would be able to put turnaround area, which would make it a lot safer for and other guests to turn around.
So it's just, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Go ahead, Dave.
The other hardship is concerned about the security on my vehicles. I had one of my vehicles stolen in 2001.
21.
Yeah, December of 21, and the auto thefts in South County have been increasing here. Just like to get my vehicles that's secured. So
Yeah, this is Greg Hayden. Just wanted to mention he's actually on about 1.136 acres. So it is a large site and it is secluded quite a bit. So from the standpoint of security and that, actually I'm on the board of the South County Police Business Association, and since January there's been close to 60 car thefts kind of in a 4th precinct area. So unfortunately we all, and I live in that district as well, we all have to live with that problem. From the standpoint of topography, actually I visited Dana before, but I thought I better go just double check to see, and the topography is really steep on both sides of his driveway. So he's correct. If the little parking area he's got and then the turnaround space, there is no turnaround space. You'd have to actually back down if he's got 3 or 4 cars in the area there. The other thing is, as far as as I believe stated, 50% is allowed of the building home's footprint. So he's actually at 59%. So he's just a hair over 9% request of the larger size. On the 1.136 acre, the 7% rule, he could actually be, if his home was big enough, he could have roughly a 3,400 square foot garage, and for that size lot. So other than that, he did request previously for a variance, was turned down. And from what I'm understanding, I wasn't involved in that one, but after listening to it and talking to Debbie Nesbitt, the concern was the back of the building, which was too tall, they felt. So what his architect did was drop that roof line, so it did not appear too tall. And basically, him being in the woods and along the Mississippi River, nobody can see it from any neighbor, or I think the county parks on one side of it, so really not visible whatsoever. So other than that, I didn't have anything else. So I guess we can answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, so I thought I saw a paper that said he owns, does he own the properties that are adjoining
that's correct.
this property?
Yeah, the Boston Realty Company owns it. I'm the vice president.
And if you drive in, you're driving alongside a very, very deep hole where the quarry is. So that's visible from his driveway. So.
Are there, Justin, do you have any questions?
No, not at this time.
Vince?
Not at this time.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time I'm going to mute the petitioner.
Okay.
They are muted.
Hearing none, 25-23, I vote to approve the variance as advertised. The hardship being the need for additional vehicle protection. Also, the fact that the owner actually owns the adjoining properties and there doesn't seem to be a problem with lot coverage.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
All right, 26-23, Anthony and Stacy Manker is a request for an exception to the rear yard regulations for the purpose of maintaining a shed at 831 Auber Lane, maintaining a rear yard of 6 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the R4 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Stacy, I'm going to request for you to unmute and you'll be able to present to the board.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, I'm Stacy Manker, and my husband, Anthony, or AJ, is here as well. We have a 4-month-old baby who's making some noise in the background, so it's going to be mostly me talking. We live at 831 Auber Lane and are seeking a zoning allowance for a shed that we are hoping to turn into a home office for my husband, who works remotely and has worked remotely for several years. We had a baby and also have a son with ADHD who at times can have behavioral challenges and activity needs, and working inside the house has become challenging. So we moved forward last summer with building a shed with through Tough Shed, and we're told it was not required for us to get a permit. And we saw this as a great solution for our needs as a family. And unfortunately, we found out we do need a permit, and there's all sorts of stuff that we need to get approved. With the requirement that it has to be 15 feet from the back of the property, puts the shed, if we were to move it, it would put it in the middle of our yard and on top of a 10-foot easement that contains a sewer line. If we were to move it forward further to avoid the sewer line and the easement, it would be right up to the back of our house for the most part, which isn't practical for us and would also not be in compliance with our HOA agreement, and it would upset our neighbors as well. We have nobody behind us. There is a common ground area full of woods, and there's a ravine, and I'm not exactly sure how many feet that is, but it's a good distance from anybody behind us. So moving the shed to the back of the property currently where you see that it's located really wouldn't be visually impacting anyone. So that's what we're requesting, is for permission to build where you see the shed.
And basically, what was your purpose again in building this shed?
My husband works remotely, works from home, has for several years, and this is the intent of this shed, is for it to be a home office for him. No, not commercially, just for himself, so that he can have a quiet place to work and be close to the family. We did not have room inside our house because we had a baby. Our spare room got taken up, and anywhere in this house you can hear sound, and that really can conflict with with his job.
Y'all have any questions of the board?
I do have two questions. With the intent of the home office, just to clarify, with the home office business that your husband is doing, is there any intent to use any fuels or combustibles within that space?
No.
Okay. The intent would be that the setback is to cover from that ravine from fire or anything like that. Is there an intent to put any smoke alarm system in that shed?
You know, we haven't reached that, but I don't think it would be a problem for us to put a smoke alarm in there. We're still exploring how to do the interior.
No further questions for me.
Stacy, I have a couple questions. This is Debbie Nesbitt. What size is the shed?
It's a 10 by 12, 120 square feet shed, which I think technically is supposed to not require a permit. But due to the need for electrical in there, it does require a permit, basically. So
Oh, okay. That's what I was trying to figure out, why it needed a variance. So that explained it then. Thanks.
yes, yeah. And we weren't aware of, that was some information that we weren't aware of when we moved forward with this.
This is Mel Wilson. Is it more than 10 feet tall, perhaps, too?
I believe the top of see how it's at an angle, I believe it's like 13.
That might be it as well.
So
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time I'm going to mute the petitioner. They're muted.
All right. What's the case number? Sorry, on this one.
26.
26.
26. In the matter of 26-23, I recommend approval based on the hardship of the sanitary sewer easement that runs through the middle of the property.
I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And motion carries.
All right, final petition for you guys today is 27-23 Kevin Lang, which is a request for an exception to the lot coverage requirements for the purpose of constructing a deck around an existing above-ground swimming pool at 4634 Dorbendale Court, maintaining a lot coverage of 11.5% in lieu of 7% as required by the R3 District Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Kevin, I'm going to request for you to unmute and you'll be able to present to the board.
You hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we're just looking we put a pool in 2 summers ago and now we're looking to put in a deck, just one to try and it'll make it level as far as we have some elderly people to get in and out of the pool. And with the pool, we can use a step type ladder to get out instead of a traditional ladder now, like the A-frame ladder that we're using to get in and out. And then just trying to more or less thinking it'll make the yard look nicer, having the deck to cover up a spot where we took a tree out between the house and the pool. So it's not going completely around the pool. It's just going to be on one side of it to kind of connect to our concrete patio and cover up that bare spot and tree root that was there. And like I said, we got an 87-year-old mother-in-law and a couple other people that have arthritis and bad knees, and getting up and down that ladder is hard. And my mother-in-law comes over a lot and swims on the weekends, and we're just looking to make it nicer and have it easier to get in and out for everybody, having the traditional steps to climb out of the pool as opposed to the ladder that we use now. And that's all I have.
So the deck will not be attached to the house then, so they would have to climb up the stairs to get to the deck?
No, the deck is gonna, if you go back to the other picture, is gonna be pretty much, it'll be level with that concrete patio that's there.
Okay,
And it's like, I forget what it was, 10 feet away from the house. And then it'll have a section that'll connect to the corner of the concrete patio there. So it'll not be attached to the house, but it'll reach that corner patio. And then with the deck, you can have a ladder that's more like traditional steps to walk out of the pool, as opposed to right now, it's like an A-frame ladder that came with the pool. And putting the step ladder in, it makes it a lot easier getting in and out.
Board have any questions?
I have none.
I didn't see anything, but are there any like other accessory structures that you have that you don't need that would reduce your lot coverage, or is it just your house and the pool?
All that's there is the pool, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time I'm going to mute the petitioner. They are muted.
One question for staff. I guess the original pool, that still all meets the required lot coverage. So it's literally just the deck that's pushed this over on lot coverage.
No, the pool actually, when he built that, he needed a variance for lot coverage for the pool also. And this deck is making it go up to the 11.5%.
And he got a variance for the pool.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, would you like to take this one?
If you don't mind jumping in, I lost words on how to go about it.
No worries, no worries. I know this is kind of a tough one. 27-23. I'm going to go ahead and vote to approve this variance as advertised, and with the hardship just being accessibility to the pool for the seniors who live in the property.
Second.
I'll second that motion to get it to a vote.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Is there any opposed?
Yeah, I'll be opposed.
Okay. Okay, motion carried.
All right, and that's all we had for you guys, so we just needed an adjournment.
Okay, I move to adjourn the meeting.
I will second that motion.
Righty, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
Thank you. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks, everyone.
Just a reminder, Debbie and Mel, I will not be there in 2 weeks.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
All right, thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question of you to stay on?